Hello students. So in organometallic chemistry, we have started to learn the very important point, which is catalysis. In that we have already learned what is catalysis, what are the types of the catalysis, the difference between homogeneous and heterogeneous catalysis. And we have to move now towards the application of catalysis, some examples of catalysis. So whatever we have seen in last lecture, we'll revise in some time and we'll move further. All right. For that, I will be sharing my PPTs. Okay. Hope you can see it. Yes. Yes. So see here, this is the exact difference between homogeneous and heterogeneous catalysis. None of one is the superior. Some of the positive points of heterogeneous catalysis are there. Some positive points of homogeneous catalysis are there. Right? We have discussed according. And hope you have written in all these points in your notebooks as a notes. Right? Then we have seen these 7 steps of heterogeneous catalysis in a very precise way. We have seen yesterday this type of visual effect, you can say. I have taken a lot of efforts for that. So this is the first step. Then second step, it will come towards the surface. It will make a van der Waals force with this surface. Then there will be a chemical absorption bond with the metal, then surface diffusion, and then exit reaction, then desorption. They will go away from this catalyst, and then the diffusion. Right. So we have already discussed on that. Then we have started to discuss what are the exact industrial catalysts are there, what are their applications, what process industry has to do. And in industry, dehydration, condensation, alkylation, esterification type of reaction, they will use catalyst over there, right? And also I have discussed about this ZSM5 catalyst, okay? And I have given the example of Rangoli, right? Not exactly the correct composition of zeolite is Rangoli, but maximum part, right? So you can imagine how that compound it is. And see here, this is the exact structure of that zeolites. Okay, there are silicates and aluminate or alumina. We can say this SiO4 unit is there. Also, this LO4 unit is there. Okay. And with metal ions balancing the negative charge. Whatever negative charge will be there, this metal ion is balancing. So this is the exact structure of zeolites you will find in the catalysis, right? And see, hydrated nature of zeolites allows them to behave as Bronsted acid. If hydration of the zeolite is there, it will have some acids, right? Means hydrogen will be available there. Then it will behave as a Bronsted acid, right? So there is a process that how to activate this catalyst before to use in the reaction. Okay. We'll see exact the structure, how the cage this ZSM5 catalyst will prepare. Okay, these are the polymer type of things, and see here, this blue part is silicon and red part is oxygen around that silicon, right? Silicon. or blue also aluminum is there around that, again oxygen. So when there is if we have saw it in molecular level, it will looks like this. Okay, so there are pores, right? So see this pore having some different size, like see, the size is in angstrom. Okay, uh, very low, right? And we have to compare this size with our benzene or our some organic compounds, and uh, this catalyst will help to catch them inside, right? Mm, let's see how it will work. I don't know whether you can able to imagine it or not. Okay, but we'll see some example, then better way you will understand what I am talking about. Okay, see this is the traditional synthesis of cyclohexanol, right? See this traditional synthesis means conventional method, from benzene using some hydrogenation in presence of nickel, you will find this cyclohexane type of ring. Then there is oxidation in presence of cobalt, and you will get the cyclohexanol. The bad thing about this type of process or the synthesis is we have to use more temperature, which is 225, and we have to provide pressure to that. And even instead of providing all this temperature and the pressure, you will get the side product also. Okay, this cyclohexanone, there is a maximum possibility to prepare cyclohexanone. So we required only cyclohexanol. Okay, means selectively, right? Then the process has been modified and they have used the catalyst, which is ZSM5 catalyst. Okay, and see here, using this zeolite catalyst, uh, zeolite is a type of zeolite is big brother, right? In zeolite there are thousands of catalysts. Out of that, ZSM5 is one of them, right? Hope you understand. Then, using this zeolite type of catalyst in benzene, has to hydrogenation in presence of nickel. You have to get this cyclohexene, right? And then only in water. See, this is very important. Water as a green solvent and the ZSM5 catalyst, and only 100 degrees centigrade. 100 is optimum temperature, is very easy in industry to uh, monitor that range. Okay, and you will get selectively. See the how much yield you will get is 98% yield, right? So when we will use this ZSM5 catalyst, you will have 98% selectivity. You will get this cyclohexanol using the zeolite catalyst, right? So this is the beauty of the catalysis in synthesis, okay, and in industrial level actually. Okay, see there was one incident. This Asahi process was there. Okay, what they used to prepare, I think they also used to prepare cyclohexanol. Okay, and see this picture itself says that, see this Freiburg city is placed in nearby London. Okay, this city, and there was accident happened in 1974. 28 people was dead. What was happened there? Uh, See here in pictorial representation, I have shown this. There was a tank, uh, first tank, second, third, fourth, and fifth tank was removed for the repairing purpose. Okay, so whatever wall coming out from this fourth tank, they have directly connected to the sixth one, right? And that wall was not proper. So temporary pipe work between tank 4 and 6 ruptured, and cyclohexane cloud exploded, right? And because of this cyclohexane, this 28 deaths that history has seen already. Right. So even one single process will save your life. Right. So the the catalyst has very important role here. Um, right. So no side product and the optimum temperature without pressure. Right. So this is the very good example the history has saw. Then see the method which we have monitored. Okay, although this is very old method, but we have monitored it for the alkylation of toluene. Right. So this name of this structure is toluene, uh, benzene ring having methyl group. Right. So if we have to make alkylation of toluene, there are so many possibility. Um, Selectively, you cannot prepare it because there is possible products ortho, meta, or para. So our target is to prepare the xylene. But again, what type of xylene? Paraxylene. Why paraxylene? Because again, paraxylene is very important for PET synthesis. Hope you know the PET. PET. See towards me. This bottle. This bottle is made up with PET, polyethylene terephthalate. Right? Polyethylene terephthalate to prepare. And now you can imagine to see this bottle how much requirement is there in industry of that paraxylene. Okay. And if we have to selectively prepare the paraxylene, how we can prepare it? So here the industry is using this ZSM5 catalysis because the size of this benzene and the pore of this ZSM5 catalyst is exactly matching. Okay, so this toluene will go inside the zeolite cage like I have shown here in picture, right? And then there will be a alkylation. Okay, and when there is alkylation, there is no possibility to form this ortho or meta product, right? Because see here in picture, you can imagine it. So there is a possibility to prepare only the paraxylene. Name of the compound when toluene will be alkylated, there will be two methyl groups on benzene and name is xylene, and in that xylene ortho, meta and para three products are there, right? So channel size only allowed paraxylene to emerge. Okay, and so this paraxylene is very useful. How hope you understand now how we have used the ZSM5 for the preparation of this paraxylene. Same way for my work, we have used our starting material was the phenol, right? And we have to carry out nitration on phenol. So again, there was three possibility, minimum three possibility. The orthopara product, then only ortho product, or orthometa nitrophenol, and which is very dangerous compound, ortho metapara, right? So that type of possibility was there, and so we have decided to synthesize only para product, right? And we have used this ZSM5 catalyst for that, and we succeeded. Okay, so these two examples are sufficient to understand what is zeolite and how this ZSM5 catalyst that we can use in the application. Right. Another example, but which is rare example, we have tell here. See, the traditional synthesis of para-ethylidene 2-norbornene is like this. So via VNB. Norbornene, if you don't know, just see the structure. Last one. Okay, ENB. Ethylidene 2-norbornene. Okay. And this compound is very important to prepare the rubber, high density rubber. We can prepare it from. The base used for the isomerization is typically sodium potassium alloy liquid ammonia. Ammonia easily recycled. Metal recycle was difficult. So, and sodium potassium where we are using, it was dangerous. But now Sumitomo process means obviously they have used catalyst. There see high activity isomerization proceeds at room temperature. Room temperature we can prepare it. Then catalyst is readily recycled. Easily you can remove it, and the catalyst is much safer than sodium and potassium. You hope you know the sodium metal, which we have used in our laboratory. Maybe you were in 12th standard or in during your graduation. You saw the sodium metal. So rather than instead of using this sodium and potassium, other this catalysts are very important, very good, right? So this is the another example, which is Sumitomo process. Then this example is for homogeneous catalysis. See, this arrow itself, it shows that how, because homogeneous means in within the phase, so how it will react, that homogeneous catalysis, because it will prepare. See here, this is metal, and the metal having three different ligands. So there is a possibility. Yeah, here four different ligands are there. Here X group is there. So only the way the arrow is coming from there, you can able to attach the another ligand. Okay. So typical single site catalyst, we can say. So if the same way, the only way is there to attack on this metal, then there is a possibility of selectively product you will get, right? So well-defined active site allows rational catalyst development. In this example, or this type of catalyst is the zirconium catalyst. They are used in polymerization of ethene, which is Ziegler-Natta catalysis, right? So that example I have already taken there in the last of this presentation. Okay, okay, just to remember this. Then another example of homogeneous catalysis is monosanto synthesis or Parkinson disease. Okay. Actually, this homogeneous catalysis is used in pharmaceutical maximum because it will help to prepare this asymmetric type of synthesis. See, in this here in starting material, you will find here this is amino acids. Okay, here NH as well as acid group is there. Okay, amine also there, acid also there. Uh, in between amino acid there is a double bond, and uh, the target molecule is we have to carry out the hydrogenation. Okay, but hydrogenation in specific manner, whether R or S type of configuration. Okay, so for that there is a requirement of this rhodium type of catalyst, and when they have used the rhodium type of catalyst, see the 95% yield was there. How much? 95%. So again, this catalyst has made very important role here. Okay. Um, so this is another example of homogeneous catalysis to prepare the asymmetric synthesis, right? So hope what you have learned today. So hope you will explain why catalysis is green, right? So try to write down on that also. Why catalysis is green? Why energy is low? Why temperature is low? Then why time is consuming and so on. Okay, so you can able to write or postulates of this green chemistry also, right? Just a minute. हाँ तो बरं 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 नाही माहिती मला नंबर पाठव त्यांचा येस. So, difference between the characteristic of heterogeneous and homogeneous catalyst that you can able to write down. Then at least three examples of heterogeneous and three examples of homogeneous catalyst you have to able to write down after this lecture. Then I would like to ask you one question, or again this is like conclusion or summary. So explain how catalysis may be considered green. How you will write down. So catalysis may reduce material, waste, and energy. Just now we have discussed. Then identify the characteristic of heterogeneous and homogeneous catalysis. Actually, see this type of presentation when I was a researcher. That time there was for doctoral studies there was coursework. Okay, and one of Samson Gupta was a scientist, Dr. Samson Gupta, and he has delivered such kind of presentation in 2009 to me, to all our students, and I have used that presentation. Yes, and his way of presentation was like this, right? So identify the characteristics of heterogeneous and homogeneous catalysis. So heterogeneous are easily recycled and long-lived, but ill-defined homogeneous are more active and selective but expensive and hard to recover. So in short, they have tried to cover all points. Then describe three examples of green heterogeneous catalysis. Just now we have already discussed, which is Asahi cyclohexanol process. The incident was happening in that city. Then this ZSM5 catalysis, alkylation as well as nitration we saw it. Then Sumitomo process to prepare the uh, vinyl norbornene type of catalyst. Then green homogeneous catalyst, or I have given even more uh, examples for your understanding, right? See here, this is the very important questions. This is not for examination, but I would like to ask. Okay, see the concept you should understand. Uh, Hope you know the Friedel-Crafts alkylation reaction. Hmm? If you don't know, even you can see it, or here I have given the reaction of that. In Friedel-Crafts alkylation, what we used to do, we have starting material benzene. Then this is haloalkane, any halo alkane, you can take it for the alkylation purpose. Then there will be a catalyst or base, or this is actually Lewis acid. This is aluminum trichloride, and using this aluminum trichloride, uh, we can prepare this alkyl type of product, which is Friedel-Crafts product we can say, right? Like toluene, this is ethylene. So the modern industrial synthesis involves mixing ethylene and benzene in the presence of zeolite. Now the question is, see, if benzene is there, ethylene is there, okay, instead of this haloalkane, okay, and if we have uh, only makes the ZSM5 catalyst over that. In what ways would you consider this method to be greener than the Friedel reaction? Whether this reaction will happen or not, you have to think on that. And if this reaction will happen, okay, if this reaction will happen, then we have to think, see how this reaction will happen, right? Then uh, the another examples which I have to give you, better to write down or first you understand. This is the homogeneous catalysis example. Okay, the selective hydrogenation by Wilkinson catalyst. Selective hydrogenation by Wilkinson's catalyst. See, in selective hydrogenation, you see this is the starting material here. It looks very tricky to you, right? Hope you can see the structure. So hydrogenation, we have to carry out hydrogenation on that. See, out of this two double bond, we have to hydrogenated only one bond out of it. Okay, only one bond, this one here. Okay, so this type of bond we can hydrogenated out of it. And then here also the another compound. Here also two double bonds are there. Out of that you can use it one. Okay. Uh, right. So this is the very good example, which is hydrogenation by Wilkinson's catalyst. Okay. Then the second example we can discuss on it is, see, uh, there are two type of catalyst. One is Schrock catalyst and another one is Grubbs catalyst. And in introductory part, we have already discussed about the Grubbs catalyst. Okay. So Grubbs catalyst uh, has already gained the Nobel Prize. Okay, so we don't have to comment on it. That. Okay, but what is metathesis? That you should understand. Okay. So metathesis, see here in last side here, see ring closing metathesis means in metathesis, see there are two double bonds in starting material. You can see it that two double bonds will come together and there will be a ring formation. Okay, these two double bond will become together and there will be a formation of ring. Right. So this is ring closing metathesis, and this ring closing metathesis we can carry out using this Grubbs catalyst. This is B is a Grubbs catalyst, right? And before that, it was not possible of this metathesis, and this rock catalysis was there, but which is more sensitive to oxygen and water. Okay, and this is less expensive and less sensitive. So the Grubbs catalyst you can keep in mind. This is again the organometallic catalysis. We can use it for metathesis purpose. Okay, here is another. Just now we have discussed this is heterogeneous catalysis also, but this is Ziegler-Natta catalysis, and Ziegler-Natta has also win a Nobel Prize. Okay, what was the chemistry of that? So when there is a these two type of ethylene type of compounds are there, they will polymerize each other, right? So there will be a polymerization by using this Ziegler-Natta catalyst, and they have used in polymerization this metallocyclobutane. That was the intermediate, this one, right? That was the intermediate. So this Ziegler-Natta catalyst is also one of the best example of heterogeneous catalysis. Then there is another example to prepare water gas. What is water gas? This is H2 plus this CO. or H2 plus O2, right? That is water gas. Then this reaction occur because water gas, using this water gas, you can prepare so many compounds. H2 is water gas, right? So we can prepare ammonia from that. See here in second method, using this water gas. Water gas means H2 only, right? So we can prepare hydrocarbons, we can prepare alcohols, we can prepare alkene and other products also. I know ammonia also. Using this, and this water gas is known for a synthesis gas, right? Because it helps to synthesize so many compounds. Then this water gas also we can produce it from methane also, methane and water using this nickel catalyst. So here also catalysis is important to prepare this water gas. Then water gas is also used for water gas shift reaction also is there. That is also in presence of catalysis, right? So this is another example of heterogeneous catalysis. Then how we can relate this catalysis, organometallic catalyst, towards our nano part, right? So the reaction which may you are familiar with, I have worked a lot on this emulsion type of techniques. And when we are using these two phases are there, that is mini emulsion or inverse mini emulsion technique. Okay, hope you are familiar with that. See here what is there. This is the benzene as well as water. Obviously, both are liquid, but even one is hydrophilic, another is hydrophobic type of nature. Okay, means water loving and water hate type of nature is there. And there will be a transformation, or there is a Thurex inside. See, so this is Thurex, okay, stirrer you can say, but stirrer having very high capacity stirrer. Okay, so that using this Thurex, you can prepare these droplets. Okay, and in that droplet, we have to add this oil in water emulsion technique like that. We can say, okay, biphasic system, and you can precisely control over their droplet size, and you can prepare the uh, nanoparticles. Okay, nanoparticles. Obviously, microparticles also you can prepare it, right? Then how this catalyst is will help us. See, this is very general phenomenon of that. Suppose our substrate is in hydrophobe and catalyst is present in the water. Okay. So this aqueous and this means hydrophobic and this type of structure, you can see it. Okay. So when there will be Thurex, there will be formation of emulsion, and using this catalysis, we can make it separated out, right? So the product will come out and the catalysis will remain in the water phase. So it's very easily we can remove it, right? And so it will help to prepare the nanoparticles, right? So depend on your background, your understanding will be there, but it seems very difficult, but this is very easy and very useful platform to prepare nanoparticles, right? So thank you for today, and we will discuss tomorrow the application of aromaticity on this organometallic